He get a message to his phone. What could this message be? Actually, hold on. All right, there you go. Then. All right, so I'm turning the music up. So I'm gonna get scared of shit. All right. So we meet a kid named Walter. Right.
Bro, I'm dead.
Try not to interrupt the narrator, please. Anyways, I'm fast forward. We meet this kid named Walter. Walter saw himself as a protagonist. He on the way home. He grew up with a childhood. Always saying good and evil and shit, like protagonist shit. So one day he was walking home from school. Walking to his college dorm from a class. This was like late at night. He had a late class for some reason. He got a message on his phone. The message stated ×2 event on Elsword. But the text wasn't normal. The text was completely black. And Elsword wasn't Elsword. It was like the chibi Elsword, but colors were inverted. Eyes black, bloody eyes. He looked at his phone thinking it was a troll from like a Discord scam or some shit. So he just put it in his pocket and like ignored it. He then gets home, cuts on the lights, puts freaking Korea's Kitchen on the TV, and
Oh, this was
opens
weird.
his laptop and logs on Elsword. Usually he went through the Steam, so he would see all his friends online already playing the game. Yet for some reason everybody was offline. This was surreal since he always had people to play Elsword with. Elsword was an alive MMORPG, so he gets another email this time from his computer. The email,
Mr. Narrator.
yes,
Who did the character main?
I already told you, but he made Lord Knight.
Ew. Alright, moving on.
Anyway, so he gets
Where's
a
this? Missing the
not
scary
not too
part.
many questions, bro. Like I'm getting to it. Like damn, nigga. All right, so then he gets an email on his laptop. The email said ×2 event. The same email he got on his phone. He checks it again, seeing the same pitch black, somewhat eerie vibe in this email. The email was sent from a user called Elsword. Help. This was very weird since he never got an email like this. He actually never turned on notifications for Elsword. So seeing this, he again ignored it because he was like, "This got to be a troll," since his email was connected to his phone. So he logs into the game. It takes unusually longer. Like it usually takes like 2 minutes for him to boot up, but it took like 10 minutes. So he went and made dinner. When he came back, there was a cutscene. This cutscene wasn't like any normal cutscene because Ad was just released. I might be getting this wrong. I don't know when Ad came out. I don't know who came out 2012, but there's a new character.
2014.
Okay, well anyway, there was a new character. This character wasn't a normal character. Like his hair was black, not Raven. He had long black hair. You couldn't even see his face. His face was like black and like a face. And then Walter tried to press escape to cut through the cutscene because he didn't really care for the new character. But it didn't work. Suddenly, all the lights in his house shut off except for his laptop. Even the TV shut off. So it was just him in the darkness. He figured that the school power went out, or with the dorm power went out, so he just shrugged it off and continued to play. Suddenly, he heard voices coming from the laptop saying, saying help. Walter was like, "Oh, this is the voice of the new character." Instantly shrugging it off, watching the full cutscene. The cutscene showcased just a shadowy figure sitting on a chair in a dark room. You couldn't really make out what was going on, but just that the character was sitting.
Oh my. Sorry.
Sometime later during the cutscene, it just zoomed in on his face. Just kept zooming in and zooming in, nothing really happening. And then it cut off, like it just shut out, and that was the end of the cutscene. Walter was like, pretty edgy, pretty cool character. When he gets to the character selection screen, none of his characters are there. He instantly is frightened because he's like, he put in a lot of effort playing this game and had at least 10 characters. He couldn't find his Elsword nor his other characters. The only option that was on the screen was create new.
Nana, you bitch!
Damn, you scared me, Java, chill out.
Yo, mute this
Damn,
nigga right
that nigga
now.
actually scared me. Chill out, nigga. Down. That scared the fuck out of me. I don't want to tell the story no more. That scared the fuck out of me.
Nah, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Alright. So, damn, you got me looking over my shoulder. Alright.
Just mute him, just mute him.
Alright. So,
Oh my god, I
back.
killed Jack with a misfire.
Alright,
Oh
be
Fuck
god.
up.
Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. I'm
Shut the
telling the
fuck
story.
up.
Alright. Moving on. It says create new character. He clicks it, and it brings him to a screen that he's never seen before. It brought him to the same cutscene where a dark room, but this time he had control. You could see his cursor. Whenever he would move the mouse, the cursor, this camera would follow. He thought this was a cool mechanic, but he was still shook because all his characters were gone, and he was kind of upset because like he spent too much effort. So he moved his cursor around to the top, to the ceiling. You could not make out anything. Yet when he scrolled all the way to the bottom, there was a little light, faint light on the floor. What was visible was a liquidy figure. It was red liquid. We could not tell what it was. I mean, Walter could not tell what it was. He just assumed that it was some kind of like wine glass bottle or some shit. Cause Walter at the time was like 16. So, oh no, he was in college. So he like freshman in college, so like 19 or some shit, 19, 20. So he just didn't think too much of it. So he hovers the cursor into the middle of the screen, right on top of the character. He then clicks it, but nothing happens. He clicks the character, nothing happens. So he just clicks it again, but every time he clicked, the camera would zoom in slightly. He started clicking and clicking as the camera zoomed in, and nothing happened. And then he just started spam clicking like he was enhancing or some shit. And then it happened. There was a bright light inside the room. Horrible images popped up on the screen. There was Elsword headless body in the left corner. All but like body pieces of characters was just laying around the room. This instantly shocked Walter. Walter began screaming in panic, but nobody could hear him or nobody came to the rescue because I guess they thought it was just screaming of the blackout that happened. So as he closes his laptop, he gets the faint idea to like see this through because it could be like a glitch or some shit. He begins to pull out his phone to record, and he records what happens next. So he opens his laptop, right? He sees all the gruesome, brutally murdered bodies by this one character who we do not know the name of. Yet he could still move his cursor, and as he moved his cursor around the screen, he saw more body parts to the point where he began vomiting. And then after that, he just stopped investigating. He started clicking on the character again, and it zoomed in right between the eyes. And then he clicked one last time, and the screen went dark. He was instantly transported into the tutorial boss, but this tutorial stage was not usual. It was odd. The stage layout was him in an alleyway. Somewhere along the lines of Seal's or Lucio's tutorial boss, but it's just a dark like night lights. If I could describe it, it'd probably be like the guild base that just came out, that fucking rainy guild base. So it was in the alley. You played as the character, but for some reason, whenever Walter pressed the arrow keys, nothing happened. The character began moving on his own, left and right. The mobs wasn't normal mobs. It was Elsword, Chung, Rena, Ara, and they were talking in English dub, of course, because we don't fuck with sub. Anyways,
Bullshit.
so they was saying. You could hear the character screaming in pain and saying stop as they charge at the mysterious figure. And one by one, they were cut down. But not by any weapon. This was the first character Walter have seen that didn't use weapons. He used his hands.
That's Lappy.
No, okay, yeah, shut up. He used his hands. He strangled Elsword. But then, as Elsword was getting strangled, like this was very gruesome. Even though they were 3D models, the models seemed like they were real people. They seemed like they had lives of their own. And as the other characters tried to save Elsword. As soon as R got near them, the mysterious figure snapped Elsword's neck.
Damn.
Walter was like, and then Walter tried to fight against the mysterious figure. He tried to press the arrow keys. He tried to even press escape. Everything. None of that was working. It was like watching a cutscene. And as everything went on, next was R. He ripped R's left leg off, and R screamed a bloodily cry. He tried to turn the laptop off, but somehow the laptop was stuck in place. It was an old laptop. He should have bought a new one, but he tried to close it this time. It just didn't budge, so he was forced to watch because that was his only source of light during the blackout. As the mysterious figure got done mutilating R, next was Raven. However, Raven did something unexpected. Raven turned around and started running with Aisha. Aisha couldn't teleport because, for some reason, the mysterious figure used a skill that stopped MP or some shit. So, the mysterious figure appeared before the two and instantly Omni-Man they shit and put both of his hands through both of their throats, piercing a hole through their throats, instantly killing them. Walter said this was enough. He picked up the laptop and threw it to the floor, thinking it would break, but somehow it was indestructible. Nothing happened, and he could still hear the screams and bloody cries of the characters. He said he had this. He just thought he had to see this through, cause like this was way too weird, and he was recording with his phone. He tried to call the police, but there was no internet since the power was out, so he just kept recording. Fast forward, he got back on his bed, was watching the brutal scene. After the tutorial was completed, the final boss, you get to the final boss. The final boss wasn't the normal final boss. It was actually Banthas. And this was weird because Banthas wasn't the same Banthas as we've seen. This Banthas looked like a good guy. He didn't have the evil smile, the evil smirk. He was shook. He had fear in his face. He was sweating. He did not seem okay. And Walter heard the most iconic thing in the game, the start. Therefore, this time Walter could control the mysterious figure, as the arrow keys after the tutorial thing like popped up saying move left and right. As soon as Walter clicked left or right, the mysterious figure disappeared off the screen. Walter was confused. Did he beat this mysterious figure? Is it finally over? Ha! Is what he wished was gonna happen. So, after clicking the arrow keys, nothing happened. It was like he was invisible. He could move around, the camera would follow his movements, but there was no character. So what was happening? He realized he figured that he should just meet up with Banthas. As he moved his cursor to Banthas, Banthas was actually running away from the camera. He was running. Whenever you would go to the right, he would go to the right. He would always stay off camera. But the sound effect of him laughing would play without his consent or whatever. Banthas was actively running from the camera, but as you know, the tutorial boss has a limited range where you can actually move. So Banthas was at the invisible wall, crying. Actually, you would never see this before. He was actually crying. So when Walter put Banthas in the middle of the camera, that's where we see the mysterious figure walk from the camera, like let's say you're playing a game and you see your character. He's walking off the freaking. He's no clipping or some shit. He's walking from the camera to your character. If you can picture that. So he's walking to Banthas. Banthas is trying to run off the camera as well. He's trying to run into the background, but he can't move. He can't move past the invisible wall. So as the mysterious figure walks towards Banthas, Banthas screams and cries, but it's too late. There's nothing Walter can do. Walter just sits in horror. And then the mysterious figure, one by one, takes his fingers and slits Banthas' throat from the back. Pause. And then, and then And then
I was waiting
fucking,
for dead.
Oh my god.
and then fucking Banthas bleeds out, but that's not where it ended because Banthas was still alive.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, he would stab Banthas in the back of his head, his throat, his chest. But the thing about the tutorial boss is, every mob has HP, and the mysterious figure knew that. So he made all his attacks deal little to no damage. So as his HP was decreasing very slowly, it was just a brutal scene for Walter. Walter couldn't believe what he was seeing. Was this really Elsword, the game that he's been playing since he was 14? For 6
That's why we
years?
play Maple History, bro.
He was just in horror as he watched. And as it kept going on, it felt like forever, but it was actually like 10 minutes. And then the tutorial was cleared. Congrats, cleared. And when the clear message pop up, your character will get a quote or whatever. But that's not what the mysterious figure got. He didn't get a quote. Instead, he got a cutscene. He turned to the camera, pointed at the camera, and said, "You're next, Walter." Walter couldn't believe his eyes. His name was in the game. That's all he wanted in life. Nah, I'm just playing. His
Oh
name
my
was
god,
in
I'm
the
good.
his name was in the game, but not for the reasons he'd wanted to be.
Oh my god, Rocky saved my life, I think.
And the fear, the most thing that feared him, the biggest fear he had was, since he was a hero, he viewed himself as a hero, as a protagonist. To witness murder of many people and not being able to do anything about it really put him in a depressed state. So after the tutorial was cleared, the game shut off. The app auto closed. He got another email. "Thanks for playing." And then the Elsword application uninstalled itself, and the mysterious figure was never seen from again. Luckily, Walter did have this recording, but he checked his phone. It was an Android, and he had no data, so he never got the footage.
He's a
Cool.
bitch, bro.
He's the distant Android.
After
Yeah,
that,
of course it has to be a fucking android.
Who said that?
2 days later, Walter committed suicide through hanging after seeing that shit. And he had an Android, so like, yeah, he deserved it. Anyways,
He's a
that is
bitch.
the end of the
Let's
story.
find this out.
Yes, sir.